I've been seeing black men catching all kinds of smoke, all kinds of heat over Brickgate, even though we have nothing to do with that. But then you don't explain stuff like this. The sheriff's deputy. This sheriff's deputy here, as you can see, this guy is a predator. Why doesn't the white community answer for him like I'm being expected to answer for Brickgate? Why is that? You know, when I see stories like this, where I see a husband and wife couple who were caught with CP, I mean, these are white folks, but I don't see this all over TikTok. You know, just saying. It's fascinating how that works out, huh? Why is it that black men are catching strays because of what happened with the Somalian community, but white people don't catch strays because of what happens here? I got to ask that question. Why are black men catching strays because of what one black man did, but the white community never catches strays for what folks like this do? Or this chick. I mean, she's a freaking teacher. The teacher. Why isn't the white community being asked to answer for her like I'm being asked to answer for Brickgate? Why aren't Germans, Irish people, white people here, British white people, you know, you name it, why aren't they being asked to answer for Russia and Putin? They all white, right? Interesting. So, let's go here. Tell me, how many Catholic priests, how many deacons, how many clergy members do we got to see who are mostly white before we say, hey, we got to have a conversation? But black men can catch strays left and right, left and right, left and right. How many more do we got to see? You know, I got to ask that question. Because it seems to me like the rules only apply to certain folks. You know, certain folks can be the lead category in certain crime stats. And then suddenly, it's never a deeper conversation with those folks. It's just, hey, crime happens. Oh, crime happens. That's how it works. Crime happens. But I want to remind you that most of the Catholic priests and the people who involved with this Southern Baptist Church, the vast majority of them have never faced justice. The vast majority of them have never faced justice. I want you to keep that in mind. The vast majority of them have never faced justice. But Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they can defend Danny Masterson. So I want you to read the headline, right? Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote letters of support for Danny Masterson ahead of the sentencing, not the conviction hearing, mind you, the sentencing. So this is already after the conviction, when everyone knows that Danny Masterson was found guilty. And it wasn't just one woman saying that he did something. It was multiple women. So Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, by the way, Mila Kunis is the same Mila Kunis who went after Kyrie Irving over a tweet. Same one. Same exact one. Same one. Oh, you can go after Kyrie Irving for a tweet, but you can't hold your man accountable, right, for being a predator. So Ashton Kutcher and Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they were supporting Danny Masterson. Once again, read the headline. They were sending letters of support ahead of his sentencing. He was already found guilty. They knew. They were fine with it. See, Hollywood. See, most of white Hollywood. See, that's why they get the protection, because they're mostly white. That's why. They're rich, but also white. People will say, well, what about R. Kelly? You mentioned one R. Kelly. There is one R. Kelly to every 2,000 white guys. Nice try. Because when I watched that Boy Scout documentary, do you know what I noticed? A lack of black scout leaders doing this stuff. A lot of black victims. Not a whole lot of black scout leaders. In fact, when you look at the actual stats, it bears out that way. And I'm going to show you those stats live here. But, you know, we're having conversations about Brickgate because of what happened with one woman. But this man is said to have gone after more than 2 women. Why are we not having conversations? Why is this not plastered all over TikTok? Why? Why? Why is this not plastered all over TikTok? All over YouTube? You know? I gotta know that. Why is it that it's so easy for people to get on code with going after black men, but the moment you get a white man who does anything, suddenly it's everyone starts stuttering, starts making excuses, and I naturally stutter, but even I, when it comes to, you know, someone coming at me over what a black man did, I don't start doing all this bunch of stuttering that I noticed. I don't sit here and start deflecting. See, I'm not deflecting. I'm not saying that black men are perfect. I'm just saying if we're gonna talk about having discussions, why are we not having discussions about Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, Danny Masterson, Weinstein, Epstein, you name it? Why is that? Why is it so easy to jump on black men, but when it comes time to reciprocate the same thing to other communities, suddenly everyone starts becoming hidden leaf ninja, you know, silence, just hush, church mouse, can hear a pin drop. Fascinating how that works out. So I want to read this to you, right? Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, they wrote letters of support on behalf of Danny Masterson, right? Ahead of his sentencing, even with their letters of support, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison, where he has to serve 25 and a half of those years before he's eligible for parole. They only give those kind of sentences to a rich white man, a rich white celebrity, if he's actually guilty. Do you really think they're going to just convict some random rich white celebrity of anything, even jaywalking, if he wasn't guilty? Really? Do you think that's how this country works? Is that ever been how this country works? Of course not. But nobody will talk about it. Nobody will touch it. Because it's not going at black men. That's why. Because there's no way in the world you're going to tell me that if a black man, if 2 black celebrities came out in support of this man, that wouldn't be front page news. In fact, the fact that down in Georgia, the guy who says who ran the Black for Trump organization being the one who's still behind bars and everybody else done got bail. The fact that happened and black people were like, we're not upset because we knew it. That's why we weren't really all that shocked. Or when you see Enrique Tarrio get more years than Stephen Rhodes, he looks black. That's why. We weren't shocked by that. We know the white guys are going to get less time. We knew that. Nobody was shocked by that. But it's fascinating how that stuff keeps happening, but we never put a focus on it. You know, I want to look at some more interesting examples, right? I want to look at some more interesting examples. So you remember Paul Walker, Fast and Furious? How we celebrated him. Oh, Paul, no, Paul. Yeah, Paul Walker, he dates people who might be outside of his age group. Let's just say that. Paul Walker began dating his last girlfriend when he was 33 and she was 16. That's making the rounds on social media. Everyone kind of knew it. But Vin Diesel, a lot of cats stood up for that guy. And yet, some of the same people in Hollywood, I mean, you got a lot of folks who stood up for that guy. Oh, Paul. No, Paul. And this happens? Wow. We never even discussed this. This wasn't all over TikTok, right? This was all, it was all Wiz Khalifa. It's been a long way without you, my friend. Yeah. It was all Wiz Khalifa songs. No truth though. Nobody keeping the buck though, right? But you want me to take shots over Brickgate. I wish y'all would. I wish y'all would. You want me to take shots over Brickgate. But this is going down? Really, y'all? You know what's interesting? You remember when people were walking out on Netflix over Dave Chappelle? No, Dave Chappelle, he was so offensive. Dave Chappelle's offensive. We can't stand him. Remember that? I remember that. I remember. You know what's interesting? You know what was also on Netflix? The Mist. It was an episodic series that was made after there was a movie that came out called The Mist. And it was an episodic series in which the central part of the story was that there was these alien invaders and there was a subplot between the humans, whereas a young girl was essayed by one of her friends. It's a very interesting storyline to have featured by Harvey Weinstein. That was on Netflix for a while. The same Netflix employees who walked out when Dave Chappelle was somehow offensive, they were there that whole time. Nobody walked out. And I'm talking about Harvey Weinstein, but the article you see here is, let me show you, it's about his brother, Bob Weinstein, who was accused of harassment of a woman on the job. How many times you hear about that? Did you even know that Netflix kept that series on there even after things that came out about Weinstein? For years. Oh. You didn't know? You had no idea, huh? That's how it works. See, that's how it works. See, we take heat for what any black person do, no matter what part of the African diaspora they come from. Like, they could be from Jamaica and somehow be over here in Black America. I gotta take shots for that, right? But even though white people here don't get blamed for what Putin's doing, but I get blamed for what somebody in the African diaspora does. Oh, okay, cool. So how can we help the white community not do stuff like this then? If that's gonna be the conversation. I mean, after all, it was this man and his brother who started the whole Me Too movement, right? If we're gonna really talk about protecting women, shouldn't you start here? If he started the whole Me Too movement, if because of his actions the Me Too movement was birthed, just asking questions here. It seems to me like black men are held to a standard that nobody else reaches. You know? It just seems to me. And how do I know this? It's from RAIN, an organization who cares very deeply about survivors. If you look at the bottom there, you'll see the majority of your perpetrators, they don't look like me. They're white. Public Institutes of Health. If you read the bottom sentence there, it says that white men are overrepresented in all the stats for predators. But you don't see this all over TikTok, right? Even though we just had Danny Masterson, even though we just had the documentary that just ironically came out on Netflix, you don't hear this, right? Where are all the live streams? Do we not care about women? I mean, if that's what some of these people are saying, sure, I can buy that. But where's all the conversations about this? Where? I find it interesting how we subtly don't want to talk about things when it's inconvenient. You know, when you see this kind of stuff, from the DOJ, that shows that it ain't us committing all the crimes. It gets very interesting, Why can't we have these conversations? Why? Why not? Right? Why can't we have these conversations? Can anyone answer that question for me? You know, law enforcement officers, white guys like this guy. Why can't we have these conversations? Why can't this be a part of every TikTok stream, huh? Is there a reason why? Why do we have so many white police officers who plant evidence on people? Dozens of cases were dropped because of this officer's actions. I mean, do we not care about victims of these crimes? You have a husband and wife pair here who had CP. Do we not care about children? I mean, this is not on every TikTok stream, but it's on here. I mean, husband and wife? Seems pretty heinous. But I guess the break, you know, hey, people are going to say, well, you can do both, but you ain't doing both, though. You ain't doing both. Oh, see, now I get it. I get it. Anytime, the only way to get somebody to care about an issue is if a black man's perpetrator. That's the only way out. Only way out. You know, like this teacher here. This teacher. Predator. But it's not on every TikTok stream, even though you're paying taxes for the same schools she was teaching at. You don't pay her to do that, right? And you have nothing at all to say about it? Okay. Hey, you know, if that's how it works. That's strange how it works. You know, you got a white guy here out of Florida, Sheriff's Deputy Lieutenant. Sheriff's Deputy Lieutenant. Lieutenant. Alleged predator. I mean, you know, I worry about this stuff because, you know, the question becomes, why are people so unwilling to talk about it? Is it because it makes you uncomfortable? Is it because it's not as easy of a target as black men? What is it? Because I have to figure it out. I want to understand why won't some people even go after the story? You know? Why? Are you petrified? So you can talk about black men and one brick and one woman forever and ever and ever, but you can't mention a law enforcement officer who targets kids. Oh, that's totally okay. You won't talk about that on TikTok. People say, well, you could care about both, but you ain't caring about both, because as soon as you say that, I'm going to go to your channel. I'm going to say, where is it? Where's the video? Stream, please. Nothing? Okay, that's how it works. So the only way to get somebody to care about something is if you can go at a black man. The only way. The only way. Because otherwise, you know, you've heard so much talk about Brother Polite, and I don't like that guy. I don't really care for him. But before you mention Polite, mention all the church deacons, Catholic priests, Boy Scout leaders, school resource officers who are overwhelmingly white, and most of them never see the inside of a jail cell. Unlike this guy, he don't look like a brother. But he's not being featured all over TikTok, though. You know, I guess these people just don't care about kids. I guess they're similar to Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. You know, even after Danny Masterson was convicted, they sending letters of support to reduce his sentencing. So read the headline again. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote letters of support for Danny Masterson ahead of his sentencing for being a convicted predator. This ain't all over TikTok. Why? Because you can't go at a black man over it. There's no way you can put black people into it. You can't put black people in the mix at all. That's why. That's why these people just don't care. These fake feminists. These fake women empowerment people. Because for all the talk of feminism, right, you would think this would be front page news. You are supporting this man after the conviction with multiple women. Okay. All right. Oh. But do keep telling me about Deshaun Watson, though. Oh, okay. Do keep telling me about all the black men, though. Okay. Do continue. Do continue. Because when you look at the actual stats, it ain't us. It ain't us whatsoever. That's all I got to say. Y'all have a great day.